So in a previous video, I talked about NaNoWriMo and how, consistency really is important. And one of the things I want to talk about, is the idea of consistency building confidence, right? Now, when it comes to a writer, the idea of being consistent is, for some people, very important, especially when you're trying to make it in the actual publishing industry, because, consistency can be essentially your livelihood, right? The idea of like, if I don't get this book out at a certain time, then, popularity is going to dwindle and, people are going to get bored of me and they're not going to want to read my stuff anymore. And, that's the things that I imagine is the case, not actually being in the industry itself, but it makes sense, So when it comes to NaNoWriMo, it sort of builds that consistency, I believe, in terms of that confidence, because if you're writing, 1,000 to 2,000, 3,000 words a day, that's a lot, right? And for me, I ended up writing around the range of, 2,000 words within the NaNoWriMo month, which is, for some people is like, okay, that sounds pretty standard for a month of writing, but that was within the first 2 weeks. Right, I pretty much did that, and the rest of the month I was pretty much just like decompressing and writing here and there. But just doing that in the first 2 weeks is so good for me because, I can that can end up turning into something where I can end up creating like, a book every 3 months, or hell, even a book a month, potentially, right? Because some novels range around 35,000 words, right? But again, when you put things in perspective, you're able to really realize that you can do it, especially when you're just like really focused on it and that's the only thing in your mind. A lot of people don't really have the luxury to do that, but just having that moment, in your mind and being like, okay, I can actually do this. And the reason why I can do this is because I stayed so consistent with it this entire time is something that NaNoWriMo has taught me.